Lost in the dark. It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, metalheads? This is Wayne.
And Michelle.
And we are from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. And you are listening to
Burton and Aaron on the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Raise your horns.
Alrighty, my friends! Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Dark podcast. I think this is episode 234. My name is Burton, and we are back tonight with our brother Keith from the Convalescence is back in the fucking virtual crypt tonight. I'm so excited. We had such an amazing time, as we always do. Every time we get to hang out or talk, it's the fucking best, man. Like, I love this guy so much. I could never, from the bottom of my heart, thank him enough for being on the show as many times as he had. He was one of the first ever people to reach out to me to want to be on the show. Once we went to video at the beginning of pandemic and all that shit. And I've seen him every single time they've been in Michigan since. And it's always just been an absolute honor and a blast. And I fucking love these guys so much. I will not take up any time at the top here for shout outs, because I know I normally do it, but everything I would shout out pretty much we talk about in the episode in detail. So besides like some other podcasts and stuff. So I'm sorry, guys, I will get you next time, but I just want to dive straight into this one because we have so much to talk about. The one thing I will mention, June 9th, Convalescence is releasing the first single from their upcoming yet to be announced titled album called Undead Swarm. Again, that's out June 9th. We're going to talk a lot more about it right now, but without further ado, everyone, I'm going to get out of your way and get into this shit. Here we go, my friends. Join me, Crip Crow, in welcoming back Keith of the Convalescence. Rah! Go. Welcome back, everyone, and we're back with Keith from the Convalescence. Welcome back, my friend.
What's up, man? Good to be back.
Always good to talk to you. It's actually almost been 6 months to the day since the last time you were on the show. Almost to the day. It's kind of funny.
Right on. I was not aware.
Yeah, neither was I. But you guys, of course, have a new album. I want to start off. You have a new album coming out. Have you announced the title of the album yet?
No,
I didn't see. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that anywhere.
We're keeping that under wraps for a little bit longer, until we have a couple singles out, probably.
Hell yeah.
But the first one is Undead Swarm. It's one of the more like melodic tracks on the album.
Okay.
It's not that it's not heavy, but it's not the heavier stuff on the record.
Mm-hmm.
And we got that killer artwork done from Hand Rod Art.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, our first time working with him. So that came out killer. And for the new tour, we have scrims and a kick drum head and all that stuff that all matches that artwork.
Oh, that's sick.
So we redid the whole stage show.
The particular artwork for Undead Swarm?
Yes.
Oh, man. So it's going to be all like super green and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick, dude. I love that. That's a great like colorway. And yeah, that's out. Undead Swarm. That single is out June 9th. Is there will it be accompanied by a video, or is it just a track?
We have a lyric video that's getting worked on.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have some music videos in the works, but they're not quite there for this one yet. But yeah, it'll be a lyric video, but hopefully people dig it, you know.
Fair enough. Oh, your lyric videos are usually awesome, but that's, largely in part whoever you have editing it does a great job always, but the artwork, because that's, most of what the lyric videos are in general, and your artwork is always so killer, so vibrant, like, and colorful, and yeah,
we like the bright colors with the gory stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's something I've always loved about the Convalescence. And now with this record, you guys just signed with Blood Blast Distribution.
Yep.
Now, tell me a little bit about them. I don't think I'm very familiar with Blast. Yeah.
Blood Blast was created as a distribution network for extreme metal bands
Oh, awesome.
by Believe Digital and Nuclear Blast Records.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah.
So, and they, I believe, just started in 2020, maybe
Okay.
2019.
All right.
But it was within the last few years. But I know they do stuff for like Brand of Sacrifice and Shadow of Intent and stuff like that. So they definitely have some bands that have launched off of Blood Blast already.
Awesome. Yeah.
So to clear it up, it is a distribution deal. They're not like, I guess, a label
Okay.
necessarily. So we're doing our distribution through them, but we're an independent band at this point.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, hey, it sounds like a pretty good, at least distribution network to be on, you know, consider.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
might
I mean,
lead,
absolutely killer.
and it might lead to something else. That's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wasn't like too familiar. Like I saw you guys make that announcement. I just wasn't too familiar with their roster or what exactly they were and stuff like that. But that's great. Hell yeah. And then next up, so you got the album coming, but with the first single coming June 9th. No
Yep.
album title or album release date announced yet.
Mhm.
But what you do have announced is a massive amount of dates over over the rest of the year, really. And not just all in the United States. And it all kicks off next
week.
Friday, April 22nd, down there in Florida for the Earth Day birthday, being headlined by Godsmack,
Mhm.
which is such an interesting. That's such an interesting. And the whole lineup is such an interesting mix of bands.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing that a lot more lately in the United States. That's kind of a standard thing over in Europe, but as you know, in the United States, that's a lot more rare, and we're getting a lot more of it more this year than I've ever noticed before. How did that come about? And like, how do you, are you guys excited about this one?
Yeah. We always get excited when we get to play with bands out of our genre.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, when are we ever going to get to play with this band again?
Or in front of that crowd, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bunch of people that may not even realize how heavy metal gets.
Right.
So, I know, like when we did we toured with El Nino in 2015, and we toured with OTEP in 2017. Those were more closer to like the new metal and like the rock side of things than what we ever really do.
Mhm.
But you know, even we played DTE. We opened for Disturbed and Breaking Benjamin there.
Yeah.
And super weird lineups for us to be on.
That's a weird one too. Yeah.
We've always went over very, very well in front of that crowd.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, first off, everybody there is like, why are these guys wearing all this makeup and why is there dead animals all over the stage? It's like, so it piques their interest right away, usually because they're like, okay, we haven't seen this yet today. What is about to happen? You know, and then we have people coming out and spraying blood on everybody and doing gutturals and blast beats and all that kind of stuff. And it's just kind of a big change up from what else is going on. So you get a very split, like people that are like, whoa, what is this? This is crazy. And go running over there. And the people that are like, what the fuck is happening? Like get and try to get as far away from the stage as possible.
Yeah.
Like they'll go over and wait by the other stage. It's like having changeover music instead of watching us. So we did
a little freaked out.
Yeah, we did Blue Ridge Rock Festival in 2019.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We played with like The Offspring and A Day to Remember and Tech Nine, and I think Beartooth was on it, and the Mice and Men. And it was like a really like odd lineup or whatever. Yeah. But we ended up, they had the two stages right next to each other, like facing the same direction. So like you literally just had to like turn, kind of like they used to do Dirt Fest when it was in Birch Run.
Right.
And we headlined the second stage, but by the time we played on the second stage, they were well into the main stage headliners. So we were like kind of going back and forth with the headlining acts.
Oh,
So like that whole crowd is there and they're all facing our stage already. So it was like Tech Nine played, then we played on the other stage, like right next to it. There was maybe 50 feet between these stages.
wow.
And then A Day to Remember played right after us on the other stage. And then The Offspring on that same stage over there went on after them. So we were like the third to last band of the festival that everybody saw. And we played at night and like the whole thing. And man, I got messages on the band page for weeks, people pissed off because they got covered in blood. And like, it's just like, I can see that if you're there, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see The Offspring and take my family, and then this band launched blood all over the place. Like
that's just such the opposite. Like if I went to a show and wasn't expecting to get covered in blood and I did,
Right.
I'd be happier. Like
you have to understand, everybody's not into like horror and death metal though either. Like
yeah.
I see that and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, not everybody thinks that way. You know, which is fine. But
it is, yeah.
Hopefully that encourages them to check out the whole lineup in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And at that, and I did notice too that at that Earth Day Birthday Festival down there in Florida, so it's like Godsmack, 3 Days Grace, Black Veil Brides are like the main three. But then I did notice that on, I think as far as I can tell, according to the flyer, on the same stage as you, there's even two bands, I believe, on Legend Recording Agency, right? The Living Dead Girl and Circa Arcana.
Yep.
That's fucking awesome. So you're going to be there with some friends that day. So that's going to be, that'll be really cool.
Yeah. And actually Living Dead Girl and Fate Destroyed are going to be on tour together.
I'm going to see them in Detroit tomorrow.
They are both playing with our tour package with Necronomicon and everything in Toledo, April 30th.
Oh, excellent. That's awesome.
That show we did really cheap pre-sales for that show. But it's Vile Hence, Cerebral Cortex, Living Dead Girl, Fate Destroyed, Reflection of Flesh, Alica, Necronomicon, The Convalescence at Main Street for $10.
And that's not
this,
just.
It's April 30th. It's a Saturday.
Okay. I was gonna say that's not even Toledo Death Fest.
No,
that's
yeah. No, that's just a show. Yeah.
But that's just one of the
Same place. We're only gonna use the inside room.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. $10 show just to make sure everybody can come out.
That place should be over capacity. Like they should, that's gonna be nuts. That lineup is insane. That's insane. So you do the Earth Day Birthday down there in Florida on April 22nd, and then
23rd.
I'm sorry,
April 23rd.
Oh, 23rd. Oh, sorry. And then the next one. Oh, wait. Oh, May. Okay. And then the 22nd, though, I'm sorry, I missed one. The 22nd is the one in Indiana with Wednesday 13, isn't it?
No, we canceled that one a little while ago.
Oh, did you? Oh, I missed that you canceled that. My bad.
We canceled. Basically, we had submitted to get on Earth Day Birthday like months prior to the Wednesday 13 show. And when we hadn't heard back and it didn't seem like we were really going to get on the festival and they had already announced a lot of bands and we had heard like nothing, we booked the Wednesday 13 show. And then when we got Earth Day Birthday, which is obviously a much, much larger show, we were like, oh shit, what are we going to do? And we kind of referred back to like, what if we do like we did for Warlando and Incarceration last year and we'll fly. And everything looked like it was going to be good for that. And then gas prices skyrocketed right before we were about to like buy plane tickets. Well, our plane tickets that we normally pay like maybe $150 for round trip per person to like get to Orlando, we're now $750 each way per person.
Oh my God, that's Europe prices normally.
Absolutely. We paid less than that to go to Europe last time.
Oh my God.
So we were like, okay, well, the flying thing's not going to work. So we canceled off the Wednesday 13 show, and we're going to drive to Earth Day Birthday.
That was exactly why I was going to bring up the Wednesday 13 show. I was like, how are you guys going to get from Indiana to Florida in 24
Well,
hours?
we were going to fly until it was
Yeah.
like 7 times as expensive as we had anticipated.
That's okay.
So,
Fair enough.
but
I
yeah,
did
we
not-
canceled
okay.
that. Like
Okay,
as soon
fair
as we ran into that problem, we called the venue in Indiana. We're like, hey, we're really sorry, you know, and hopefully we can make that up, and hopefully we can share the stage with Wednesday 13 again at some point.
Yeah.
But for now,
Right.
we had to take the 20,000 person festival instead.
Yeah, that's I would say that's fairly fair. I mean,
Yeah.
But then of course, so okay, so then it kicks off with Earth Day Birthday, and then what, 6 days later
Mhm.
begins the big one, which is your guys' North American headlining tour, the Legacy in Blood tour. Amazing. Of course, that's named after one of my favorite songs. And
we are playing that on the tour.
awesome. Hell yeah. And this tour, it's such a monster. It's such a, oh yeah. Yeah. And so it kicks off on April 29th at Papa Pete's right here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Very excited. I will be there for that. So that's the start of the show besides Earth Day Birthday. And then it features Necronomicon, Aluka, The Breathing Process, and Reflection of Flesh on every date, correct?
Alika is with us from
Alika. Sorry, I always mess that up.
April. They're with us from April 29th until May 28th.
Okay.
And then it's just us, Necronomicon, and Reflection of Flesh for the Wilmington, Delaware date on the 29th.
Okay.
And the Massachusetts date on the 30th. And then the Breathing Process will replace the slot that Alika had in Maine on May 31st, and they do till the end of the tour.
Oh, okay. So
us, Necronomicon, and Reflection of Flesh are on the entire tour. Yeah.
And Alika and Breathing Process switch off. Okay.
Right, and there's just there's 2 dates that neither one of them are playing.
Fair enough. And this tour goes again basically from April 23rd till June 4th. It's like 45, 50 days almost.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a fuck ton.
And I think we only have, aside from in between Earth Day Birthday and Kalamazoo, during the actual tour, I think we only have 3 days off.
Yeah, I was noticing that. It's pretty much every single day. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to put together, and obviously we were limited last year on the 10-year anniversary tour, and then we had to cancel some dates on top of that.
Yep.
And with the restrictions the way they were and the cases the way they were, it was very risky to try to book a tour all the way out west and be that far away from home. And, you know, if somebody gets sick and we're stuck out there or whatever, or if, you know, whatever happens with like restrictions, if shows get canceled or whatever, you know, we were afraid to be all the way out in like California and in one of those situations versus like Michigan or Indiana or something close to where, you know, you kind of just go home.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever. So we were limited to what we could do in 2021. And we haven't been out to the West Coast since we did the Monument of Misery tour when that album came out in 2019.
Wow.
Some of the venues we're playing, we haven't played since 2014.
Holy shit.
So we included absolutely every market that we possibly could to do basically a full lap around the US. You know, starting at home, basically going all the way out to Washington, down to the bottom of California, out to Florida, up to Maine and back.
Yeah.
So it'll be a grind. It'll be a long one for sure. I am happy to say that we've made multiple upgrades to the stage show. This will be the bloodiest, craziest stage show we've ever put on. And I am very excited for everybody to see what we've been working on.
What about things like besides, I'm sure at some point during the tour, maybe, well, Actually, maybe not, because it's after the tour ends. So will you be playing any new tracks?
Not on this tour.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We do have, as you know, a bunch of festivals in August.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Yeah. Yep.
And we will be doing a tour with one other band that I'm not going to name, to hit a bunch of markets in the Midwest that we have missed on the first tour,
Okay.
and to link together all those festivals.
Oh,
So
awesome.
there will be another like 2-week tour that gets announced here soon. We're just wrapping up the last couple dates.
Okay. Beautiful. That's incredible. And the other thing I did, so I feel being up here in Michigan, I kind of feel extra lucky then, because that means the show kicks off in Kalamazoo with Alika, and then it ends on June 4th in Chesterfield at the Diesel Concert Lounge with the Breathing Process. So I get to see both versions.
Yeah, and actually I just saw the announcement today that Diesel show is Bog Rate /show.
Yes. That did get officially announced today. It is Bog Rate's last show because very recently one of the guitarists decided to leave the band, like a few months back, but fairly recently. And then they were going to go down to a 4-piece. And then, but for that show, they had a really good fill-in. The guitarist from Recorruptor was going to fill in for him. He's amazing. And then just a few, actually by now, maybe like a week and a half or so ago, the other guitarist was like, yeah, I'm not feeling it anymore. But Alex, the vocalist, Mike, the bassist, and of course, Aaron, the drummer, they are all continuing on in their own project. I don't think Chase is doing music anymore. Julian, the other guitarist, started his own thing, but Mike, Alex, and Aaron are staying a unit and just going to become something new.
That's killer. I'm just happy. I mean, that we get to share the stage with them one more time, and that, you know, they at least are keeping it together till that show. Yeah. And stoked to play with the Yokai guys again.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Mortem Incarnatum and 10,000 Teeth, a couple newer bands, are also on the show.
And that's one of the things that is something I wanted to mention, is that it is Convalescence, Necronomicon, and either a Luca Breathing Process, and then Reflection of Flesh on every date, but also every date you have local openers.
Yeah.
Which is something that, like, when I was coming up watching, like, going to shows for the first time, one of the first band, or a couple of the first bands I first noticed doing that, especially when they'd be on national tours, was like Dahlia and Devil Driver were like kind of the two main ones that I was always going to. And they would sometimes they would even announce a show and it's just them, and it's going to be all filled with local openers. Yeah. And that was, I discovered so many bands that way. I think that's such an awesome thing that you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, it's mutually beneficial, man, for everybody, because, you know, the promoter's a little less stressed out about the guarantee when there's, you know, some locals helping push tickets and helping get the word out about the show. The locals get to come out and play usually a bigger venue than what they could normally headline.
Yeah.
Along with, you know, they're playing with bands that their friends like and stuff. So it's easier to get more of their people to come to a bigger show like that. And then the touring bands have more and more people, you know, other bands and stuff that are, you know, the connections in that area that are getting the word out to the scene there. So, you know, I mean, with how restrictive social media is and stuff, it's really hard, even if you have fans that have seen you 5 times and you can go through there and they don't even know about it.
Yep.
And I'm talking people that are following the band page, friends with me on Facebook, you know, invited to the event, and they still have no idea.
And this is something that echoes through the entire metal community. I haven't been as much lately. I've been listening to a lot of other stuff, but usually I listen to a lot of the Josta show with Jamie Josta from Hatebreed, and he says the exact same thing all the time. He's like, he'll get emails all the time or DMs or whatever saying, when's the next time you're coming to this city? And he'd be like, we just played there 3 days ago. Like, what do you mean?
Time.
Yeah,
all the time.
Exactly. It's so weird. Like, what
and a band on our level, even with Necronomicon and everything, it's still not like a we're gonna sell out a 1,000 cap venue kind of show. There's definitely people that want to go see it. And I think that a lot of the shows are going to do very well.
Yeah.
However, like, for example, we're going out on this tour and there's a date that we're playing across the street from Napalm Death, Arch Enemy, and Behemoth. There's a date that we're playing in the same town as Carcass the same night. There's, there's Destruction is in town at another venue when we go through one of the shows.
Oh, that's a
stuff like that. So it's, we're crisscrossing. I think while we're in Texas, so is the Origin Misery Index tour. So is Rivers and Island Fallujah. So is Devastation on the Nation. That's all like there while we're right there. So, and then obviously, we're dipping in back and forth with Chaos and Carnage too. So no matter where we're at on this whole tour, we're fighting for, publicity or dates or whatever with all these other tour packages. So it's very important that we get the word out as much as we can about these shows. And like what I've been doing is going through and, I'll search on Facebook, my friends who live in this state, and I'll grab the event page link and I'll go and I'll start messaging every single one of them, like a personal message, like, hey man, you coming out to this show? And I can't believe after, all the sponsored ads that we run to make sure it gets out to people in these areas, the amount of times that I post, tag people, the band posts, the other band members post, everything like that, how much it gets shared, that I invite everybody to the event page, I would still say at least 50% of the people I messaged still had no idea about the show till I messaged them. So it's like, it's so difficult to get the word out there.
There's something going on in like somewhere in the algorithm. There's something going on. You know what I mean? That's social media shit. Like, there's something about the other things that they follow where that's not getting or interacting with, at least that's not getting pushed to the forefront, because I kind of personally, I figured that out a long time ago. The more you interact with something, the more you get shown it.
Yeah.
And so I tailor my page. I only interact with like band stuff and shit that I'm like
stuff you want to see.
Specifically interested in. Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, I can't tell you how many days I've woken up and seen I just scroll and it's nothing but Convalescence posts for a while. I love it though. I love it. It encourages me. It makes me excited, and it makes me excited for you guys, because it makes me go like, anybody that follows, and because you don't do it just to those pages. You do it like to like all the weird little like Michigan metal groups that I even follow and stuff. You put it in all those. Like, you are an animal at that stuff, and I applaud you for it. You're like much better than I am.
I just want to get people at these shows, man.
Yeah.
What's better than a packed metal show?
And how else, and that's, back in the day, it was showing up to any show in your local community or pastoring or pastoring. I don't know the word. Pacering your fucking local community with flyers, or showing up at every local show that you could be at and handing out demos. Like, that's how it used to be. Now this is how we do it, post
right
MySpace. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it's I love seeing you guys do that. Like, and you're right. Like, there's so many, myself included, and there's a ton of people that always share it and get it out to everybody we can. And it's, I think this tour is going to be, is this tour the first, like, this is the first like major tour you brought the new bus on, or was that last summer?
Last summer we used the new bus.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
And we gave away some free tickets, along with that little toy bus replica and
Yeah.
raffle.
Yeah, you did that great who the hell made that?
I got like a toy bus and I painted it to look like our bus.
So you made it.
I made it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, technically
yeah.
some toy company made it. But
Right. That's awesome.
I painted it. And originally I just painted it and like put it on my desk. And I was like, oh, you know what? I bet more people will see the tour.
Yep.
And at the time, we were still trying to gather up whatever funds we could for, to get merch and to get what we needed done for this tour. And I just thought it would be cool. Like somebody would, maybe appreciate having that. Just because, I feel like the bus has as many fans as we do. Every interview I do, everybody I talk to, they always want to know about the bus.
You could make it its own Instagram page, and it would probably be pretty big.
It would probably be more successful than the band, for real.
I could make one about my cats. It would be bigger than the podcast for sure.
Yeah. So we did that, and it kind of helped us out financially a little bit. Somebody won a cool bus and some tickets and T-shirts and stuff, and
awesome.
We do that kind of stuff. We did the gas mask. During the pandemic when we released the virus, and and actually it was cool. The kid that won that gas mask, we all signed it and stuff, and we weren't together, so we had to ship that all over the country to get each signature. So like we got it on, I think, like Amazon or something, and it was sent to Katie, and Katie painted it to match the one that's in the video, and then signed it and sent it to Ron, and Ron signed it and sent it to me. And then I took it to practice, and the rest of us signed it. And then we did the raffle, and the kid that won it last year, like third show back from like, we haven't played a show in a year and a half. We played at the Forge in Joliet, Illinois, and the kid with the gas mask showed up to meet us, and it was like the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
So yeah, very, very, very cool. That stuff works out sometimes.
Yeah. Oh man, that's really cool. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to dude who won the gas mask. That's great.
Right.
But then, okay. So then of course, we were talking about the tour ending on June 4th at the Diesel Lounge in Michigan. It's good. I think it's going to be a great tour. I cannot wait. I'm fucking counting the days to the 29th. But then the next one up is August. Well, the next one up that is announced is August 13th, which is of course Michigan Metal Fest, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. And you guys have you played that every year?
No, we missed the first year.
Okay.
We got the call to, I think the first year was like Devil Driver and 36 Crazy Fists and stuff.
Yeah.
The first year they did it. And
I believe so. Yeah.
We wanted to play, but we couldn't get on it originally because it was like full. So then we booked something else. And then after we already had all the new stuff announced, they got back to us and said, hey, a band dropped. Do you want to play? And we were already like booked elsewhere, so we couldn't.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we played the second year, I think it was, with Whitechapel
and
Lorna Shore. And then we played 2019 with Hatebreed and Chelsea Graham. And then we were not scheduled for 2020. But 2020 unscheduled itself.
Yep.
And then obviously it didn't happen in 2021.
Yep.
So now that it's back, we're happy to be a part of the lineup.
And it's a monster. Of course, the lineup isn't technically fully announced yet.
Yeah.
But it's such a monster with Filth and Heartsick and Casket and Raven Black and Green Jelly and you guys and Filth. It's a monster. And it's another example, I would say all these bands are somewhere in the Metal Dome or whatever, but it is an example of a show that, like we were talking about earlier, where it really like covers a wide variety of different sounds. It's kind of an unexpected lineup in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of everything there.
Yeah. There's even a
yeah,
Guar cover band. Like,
yeah, there's some bands I'm excited to see. We just played with Attila and like shared a green room with them at Incarceration.
Mhm.
And they were really cool dudes, and it'll be
Nice.
good to see those guys again.
Yeah. Yeah, they are currently the main headliner. Yeah.
Yeah. Green Jelly. We
Yep.
played with them multiple times. Last time was at Hollow Wicked, which was a party.
Oh, nice.
We're friends with Raven Black.
Of course.
And she was spraying blood for us in 2018.
Yes.
Obviously Filth and Hunt the Dinosaur and Heart Sick, are all friends of ours. And I saw Casket Robberies on it, Mantra of Morta's on it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Absolutely.
I mean, it's one of the coolest. I haven't been to many shows outside of Michigan, but in terms of festivals I've been to in Michigan, it's one of the coolest ones I've ever been to. I'm so glad that it survived the pandemic. It's such a cool opportunity for all, like any smaller band that might be on the bill. Everybody gets their own booth. You know what I mean? Like you don't always, it's such a big open area too. You get a full stage. Like it's
it's
really
kind of like
good.
one of those, where do we set up merch? Oh, see where all those other tents are? Go throw a tent up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
And that helps us because we always try to round up all our friends' bands so they all set up merch around us, and we have this little merch city over there.
Yeah.
And then I usually just see like a handful of people that just hang out in this circle all day.
Yep.
So
Yep. Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, shit. I used to just hang out. Yeah, because there was one or two. Well, I think just 1 year actually, where Bog Wraith and Recorruptor were right next to each other, and they were like right behind. I think that was the year where I think that was 2018 with Whitechapel, where they were like right behind you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just hung out right there all day.
Yeah, we love that fest.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's a good time. It really is a good. I know it's had some problems with like sound wise and stuff like that, but like, man, you're like doing a show outside. It's an all day long festival. Something's gonna go wrong at some point. Like this isn't like this isn't auditorium that's set up for this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
right. This is Arboretum.
Yeah, we're making it happen in an
stages
open
trailers,
field.
basically. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I just really love it and appreciate that it's happening again. And I reached out to them, their like PR person, and we're apparently I have heard back that we're on the list, but we're apparently on the list for like Michigan Metal Fest PR. So I'm talking about it as much as I can. So that's pretty cool.
That's great.
So huge shout out to them. But then 1 week later, we go down to Toledo, which I will also be in attendance at, because Toledo Death Fest this year is going to be insane. That's August 20th at the Main Street Bar and Grill in Toledo, Michigan. I mean, this is almost as many bands that are going to be at Michigan Metal Fest. Like, not the same bands, but like the number of, like, it's absolutely insane. And Phil Spure, Cerebral, Casket, War, Matriarchs, which is about to be on tour with War as well through the Legend Recording Agency.
Yep.
Spirit Breaker, God, Phil, and then Hunt the Dinosaur, Convalescence, and all coming together at Signs of the Swarm. Like, that's now, I feel like do you have a big hand in putting this show together every year?
I put this show together by myself every year.
So how did this one come together? What is there any stories you want to share about this one? Because this lineup is, for me as a fan of so many of these bands, it is fucking insane.
Yeah. So okay, we can start earlier in the lineup. Full Strike Frenzy. I've known those guys for years. They're from like the Monroe, Michigan area.
Oh shit! Oh, all right. I didn't know that. Nice.
Really good friends of mine for shit. I want to say like 2008, 2009. I met those guys.
Oh my god, nice.
So I've known them forever. They played Toledo Death Fest, I think, in like 2000. 2012 or 2014 or 15 maybe.
Okay.
I'd have to actually look at the old flyers, but yeah, they played before, so I'm bringing them back. It'll be good to have them on the show again.
So wait, just 1 second.
Mhm.
You said 2012 or 2014. Does that mean that Toledo Death Fest is at least or over 10 years old?
The first Toledo Death Fest was 2009.
Son of a bitch. Okay, I didn't know that. And
Yeah.
you and it all started with you? Like
Yeah, I used to be in a band called Blood of the Prophets,
Mhm.
out of Toledo, and most of us were like right out of high school, and we did do several like full U.S. tours, and we were working really hard. We were trying to get signed. We had an album out, like the whole thing, and we threw really big shows in Toledo, and we wanted to build kind of a giant, just a giant metal show in Toledo. We didn't really know what to call it because Toledo Metal Fest was already a thing. We didn't want to base it off like our band and stuff like that. So we're like, Toledo doesn't have a Death Fest. Let's do Toledo Death Fest. And the first Toledo Death Fest was like 10 bands for $5. And it was like all bands from like Northwest Ohio and Michigan, Indiana and stuff. And there's a bunch of homies that we had met on tour, and we headlined, and we had several hundred people there, and it was pretty sick. And that was back in 09, and we did it in 2010. And then I left that band and started the Convalescence in 2011. So we like missed that year. Because I'm not gonna put an entire festival together and risk as much money as I risked throwing this to not play. So because I'm not like a local promoter kind of thing or whatever. So I skipped to 2011. We brought it back in 2012. And we've done pretty much every year we've been able to. I think we've missed like maybe 3 years since then.
Okay.
But the Convalescence just straight headlined it every year pretty much, and we'd bring in like a couple bands that were really killing it on the road and like the underground scene, and then pack it with locals from our area that were doing well. And we always try to bring back the locals that are awesome in our area that we're friends with and stuff, and they get to play. And then we always try to grab at least 1 or 2 new bands that are like trying to break out into the scene and be like, here it is, dude, this is like 70-80% of the metalheads in Toledo, like here's your shot to play in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So we kind of built it up from there. And of course 2020 was the first year that I was like, because we did 2019 and we headlined, but we had Sea of Treachery with us, we had Forces with us, we had The Breathing Process, Croesus, all that stuff, and it was a really big show. And I was like, you know what, we need to go bigger than this, and the only way we're going to go bigger than this is to have somebody else headline, and just make it bigger and bigger every year. So I booked Jungle Rot, and obviously it got postponed initially because of COVID. And when I rebooked it, I had added Mushroomhead to the bill as well, and it was going to be this huge thing. And then it ultimately got canceled. And I ended up having to scale it back from what I wanted it to be, with Mushroomhead and all that kind of stuff, because, we had thousands of dollars in advertising out. I had sold over 600 tickets that all had to be refunded.
Oh.
And we lost, I lost thousands of dollars when that got canceled ultimately in 2020. But I didn't want to be one of the festivals that lets everybody just sit on their tickets for an entire year, just hoping it's like going to be cool. And I didn't know what bands were going to be available still. And everything was so like iffy.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up, we had our tour with Filth, and Blood of Angels was part of it. And then we brought The Breathing Process out, and we had Jungle Rot still come out and headline. They did a few dates, Battle Creek and Detroit and Toledo with us. And it worked out really well. And that was like one of the biggest Toledo Death Fests we've had since like way back when it was legitimately 10 locals that were selling like 50 tickets a piece.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So like back when the scene was like a scene, you know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
everybody actually went to shows. So it was really refreshing to be back after all the COVID stuff and everything and play Toledo Death Fest and like the room be so full nobody can even move in there. And it's like this is killer. So this year we wanted to go a little bit bigger. But at the same time, you know, we have to work around what bands are available and within our price range and all that kind of stuff. So the more people that go every year, the more people that hit me up and want to sponsor the show, the more people, you know, stuff like that, the more interest is generated in the show, the bigger I'm going to be able to make it every year. So this year, we put Full Strike Frenzy on. They're old friends from Monroe. The Ignominious, I think is how you say it.
I think
This is going to be like one of their first shows. They're from Toledo,
wow.
and they have the bass player from Cerebral Cortex.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Death Hex is also a very new band from Toledo. They kind of formed during the pandemic, and they've only put a handful of shows. And then we have Squid Hammer coming down from Wisconsin, which is one of my newer signings to the Legend Agency.
Beautiful.
Matriarchs, also a band I represent, coming all the way out from California.
And they are sick. They have a really good sound. I like them.
Very, very good band. They've got members from Cutthroat LA as well as Motograder.
Oh, no way. Oh, wow.
So those guys kill it. I'm stoked to have them this year. Obviously, bringing War back. A lot of people really wanted to see them again after bringing them up for the Battlecross dates.
Oh, they're so good live.
But they're phenomenal.
They really are.
Cerebral Cortex is from Toledo,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and I know you've seen them before. But they've been really killing it in the scene lately. Bringing over Phil Spewer from Indiana. That was like one of those underground bands that I'm like, man, these guys really rip. Like more people have to see them.
Oh, I love them. Yeah, I saw them at the Rock on the Racetrack thing. Yeah, they were excellent.
And then we booked Casket Robbery, which good friends of ours from Wisconsin. They were supposed to play the one last year.
Yep.
And they ended up dropping off the tour and weren't able to. So we rebooked them for this year. Spirit Breaker is new to me. Their agent's a good friend of mine. He hit me up and was like, hey, check these guys out. They're from Michigan. I knew the name. And I went and looked them up and I listened. I was like, wow, these guys are really killer, man. I'd love to put them on. So booked them. Worm Shepherd, who's obviously doing really good in the underground scene right now.
Mm-hmm.
I went and saw them with the Breathing Process in Detroit and partied with everybody a little bit.
Nice.
And they seemed like cool dudes. And I told them I wanted them to come play Toledo Death Fest, and they were down. Filth we brought back by popular demand once again.
Yeah.
Aside from them being awesome and being good friends of ours, they made a hell of an impression at last year's Death Fest. So
they destroy. Like you guys and them together is annihilation. There's no
bringing
question.
Them out, and then Hunt the Dinosaur has been label mates with us for years. We made friends with Hunter and everything, and they opened for us in Dallas during the Monument of Misery CD release tour.
Okay.
And we've been talking for probably 3 years about the Convalescence and Hunt doing something together. So I was glad that I was able to, help them, jump on Michigan Metal Fest as well as like put them on Toledo Death Fest. And then obviously, we're playing because we booked it. And then, so I haven't announced this yet, but, I'll just go ahead and say it because I don't feel like it's right to keep everybody like in the dark about it right now. Signs of the Swarm is having to drop off Toledo Death Fest. Unfortunately, I do have another headliner in the process of being confirmed. It's a legendary band It's going to be awesome. So don't want anybody to freak out or anything. It was a unexpected and out of our hands kind of deal. And I'm sure we'll bring Signs of the Swarm back. But as soon as I got that email, I got on working with their agent, and we have someone else come into headline that's going to be 6. So we'll be announcing that soon.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's a bit of a drop. All right. I mean,
we haven't
I
made the announcement yet, but we will be in the coming week or so.
I definitely am a fan of Signs of the Swarm, but they are also not why I was going to that show to begin with. So,
yeah.
No matter who is, I can't. What was because like you said, you guys usually headline it. So, what was the decision making there to not?
As far as bringing in Jungle Rot and bringing in Signs of the Swarm and stuff like that is, I felt that we had kind of peaked with us headlining. You know what I mean? Our shows do well, but it was also kind of lame to have the same headliner every year. Because it's not based on our band. You know what I mean? If it was the Convalescence Fest or something like that, that would be different. But the Gathering of the Juggalos, that's fine that ICP headlines.
Not Fest.
Not Fest, obviously Slipknot.
Right.
Ozfest, obviously Ozzy.
Right.
But this is Toledo Death Fest. I want to bring the sickest, most brutal shit to Toledo for one day a year as I can.
So you literally basically did it for the honor of the festival, to make it bigger than
what we are. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. To make it bigger than what it was. But yeah.
And if I'm capable of getting a Jungle Rot to come play, I mean, those guys are legends. I've been listening to them for half my life.
Yeah, dude.
And for them to come and want to play my festival is killer. Signs of the Swarm, their first album on Unique Leader came out around the same time as This Is Hell did on Unique Leader, and we were label mates.
Wow.
And I followed them for sure, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a fan. So I was like, oh, and they're from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And so they weren't so far away.
Yeah. It's the same place as
Breathing Just Process. Like Jungle Rot being from Wisconsin and Chicago area, they're not that far away, and it's easier to book those bands because then I'm not running around trying to rent gear. I'm not buying plane tickets. I'm not spending money that could go into the festival on crazy weird stuff.
Exactly.
I'm paying the band to come out there and slam with everybody else.
Right.
And that's what we've been able to do. And like I said, we do have another headliner that we're already talking to, and it should be solidified quickly.
Well, for the record, we're recording this on the 14th. This will probably come out a day or two before you guys play in Florida. This might be our 420 episode, actually.
So that's my birthday, actually.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another. Damn it! There's some other thing, but yeah, that's awesome. Hell yeah. So this might drop on your birthday then. So it'll be
we may even have the new headliner announced before this comes out.
Okay, beautiful.
We're very close.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I was really bummed about that, but I'm pretty excited about who we got to kind of step in, and hopefully everyone else is too.
I'm sure they will.
And then we have Summit Fest is also announced.
I was gonna say, August 27th, Summit Fest with Impending Doom and Unearth on top. And that's another gigantic lineup.
It's in an arena.
What arena? Oh, Summit County Fairgrounds Arena. What state is this in?
It's in Akron, Ohio.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
We played Summit Fest last year, but it was a much less heavy lineup. And it was during the county fair.
Fair enough.
So hey,
I've seen some great shit during county fairs, but fair enough.
Yeah. We played it last year, and CB Entertainment and Legend Recordings, the label, put that festival on, and they do a great job with it and everything. Last year was the first year, and they did it during the county fair, and it was like the headliner was Saving Abel. And they had like the Bunny, the Bear, and Vampires Everywhere, and City of the Week, and whatever. But then they also booked like Us and Alaka and Adrift on River Styx and stuff like that. And I mean, it honestly, it was funny to see some of the like people at the county fair when we had guys from Alaka and City of the Week and stuff come running out on stage with these spray painted black squirt guns that looked like real guns from a distance, and just started wrecking everybody with blood at the county fair. It was a blast. It was like check off the bucket list there. But our crowd and the Saving Abel crowd was definitely not the same.
I can imagine.
But it was a fun show, And when they called us up again, they're like, "Hey, you guys want to play it this year?" I was like, "You gonna make it heavy this year?" And he goes, "Hey, that's a good idea." Next thing I know, it's Unearth, it's Impending Doom, it's the Breathing Process, Hunt the Dinosaur, Us.
Alaka's back. Alaka's back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very heavy. Like I thought, I didn't know about it. I wasn't like aware of it last year, I guess, but like looking at it this year, I was like, this is a fucking metal festival that I didn't know about. But apparently it wasn't always a metal festival.
Yeah, it was like a interesting rock festival last year.
Fair enough.
But this year it's not during the county fair.
Okay, so it's its own thing.
It's its own thing this year, yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Is it taking place at the same place as okay?
It's in the same arena.
Well, no, that's awesome. That's good. That's a great those are always great places to set up stages. Mm-hmm. So much like Michigan Metal Fest.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome. Akron, Ohio, Sunday 27th, the Summit Fest. You guys will be there. That's fucking yeah. And that's and like you said, you teased earlier, all like August 13th to 27th, all those dates we just talked about looks like they might be tied into something that is yet to be announced.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then of course you have they are rescheduled dates. You already have supposed to have done this, but you have the rescheduled dates from the European tour with Chelsea Grin and Carnifex, which is that runs from the very end, last few days of November, through most of December.
Yeah, it's like right after Thanksgiving till right before Christmas.
Yeah. That's what I was noticing. And where like in Europe, are you like, is there anywhere that you're particularly excited to go to for the first time or back to? Because I know you've toured Europe before.
Yeah, we did Europe in 2016 with Suffocation, Cattle Decapitation, Abiotic.
Yeah.
And on that tour, we did. Well, we got stranded in Germany for a few days, and we missed some shows. But we did Austria, we did Slovenia, we did France, and we did Italy on that run with those guys, and multiple dates in Italy. And then we went back to Europe in 2019. It was the last tour we got to do before COVID canceled everything, with 6 Feet Under. And we did Netherlands, we did Germany, we did Austria, we did the Czech Republic for the first time. And that tour, was killer. No complaints on that tour whatsoever. And yeah, this tour, we're hitting quite a few places for the first time, including we're going to the UK for the first time.
No shit.
So, we get to go play there. And another first for us was originally when the dates were announced, the date in Manchester, UK had sold out. And when they re-announced the dates, they added another date the next day at the same venue. So we're playing the same venue 2 days in a row because it's sold out and enough people still wanted tickets that they added a second day.
You can't act like that's
that's the best. That's as good as it gets, really.
Yeah, literally.
And we're playing London and we're playing Birmingham and stuff like that over there that I've wanted to go to and play metal at forever. And
are you going to Scotland or Ireland?
I think we're going to Sweden.
Oh.
The original tour routing when it was first announced had Norway, which I was really excited about, but there's no longer a Norway date.
Damn it.
But we are going to like Stockholm and stuff like that. I think we have a Denmark show.
I actually saw, as you know how much of a fan I am of Alexi and Children of Bodom and their so of course I'm a huge fan of their live DVD live at Stockholm.
Mhm.
You guys are playing Stockholm on my birthday, November 30th. Yeah.
Killer.
I saw that. I was like, no fucking way. Like, I'm so happy for you. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's killer. I'll try to like video call you with some guys from the tour from Stockholm.
That'd be awesome.
Fucking death metal sing happy birthday or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I'm honestly, dude, I've been listening to Carnifex and Chelsea Grin since I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And to get the invite to like be on this tour was just killer. And then we've played with Body Snatcher before, and we've played with Burials before as well. I mean, we played with all these bands on this tour prior, but we to be able to do 20 some dates with them on the other side of the world is very killer.
Other side of the world, going through different countries together, like man, that's gonna be a really special. Like, I think you guys are gonna have a great time. That's gonna
be a blast. I actually, because they're on a different time zone in Europe. And I don't want to say we were bugging Carnifex for a while, but like we definitely put it in their ear that we were like, dude, we really want to tour with you guys, like anytime, any place, like name a part of the world, we'll meet you there, kind of thing. And they kept saying, yeah, dude, we're working on something, and just tour after tour kept getting announced, and it was never us. And I was like, man, hopefully this happens. And I mean, this went on for like 5 years, like that. We, two bands knew each other and were talking, but it was like we just couldn't make dates happen. And then out of the blue, just I'm sleeping, I hear my phone go off. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just roll over and look, and it's an email from like one of the bigger booking agencies over in Europe, and it says Carnifex / Chelsea Grin and like the subject, and I'm like, what? And I clicked on it, and it was like, would the Convalescence like to be part of this tour? And at the time, it was Lorna Shore too, so it was like,
right, yeah.
Carnifex, Chelsea Grin, Lorna Shore, and Burials, and they're like, would the Convalescence want to be on this? And I was like, I didn't even ask the band first.
I would have.
I just just confirmed immediately.
At 5 o'clock in the morning, I look at that. Everyone in the house is awake. I'm screaming.
Yeah. I jumped out of bed. I was like, had to go do a couple laps pacing around my house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't care if it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna need a drink right now. Like, this is fucking insane.
I was so fucking happy, and as soon as I would see band members active that day, I'd be calling them.
Yes. Oh man.
Like, hey, you're not gonna believe what we're on,
So all right. So yeah. Yeah, I cannot fucking man. You guys are gonna have a really great time on that one. Are you gonna do you have any plans? Now this is gonna kind of cross over one of the last things I want to ask you about. Do you have any plans on like I don't know, filming any tour footage from that tour or anything? Like,
yeah, we're gonna film stuff everywhere all year.
Hell yeah.
We always try to as much as we can. Sometimes we literally don't have a camera person. Sometimes the camera's dead and we forgot to charge it or something. And
I'm sure. But I know Icer has filmed a lot of stuff. So
dude, Icer has like whole hard drives of just our footage of his house. Like, he has to pay for extra Google storage space. And whatever. I mean, it's fine. We have a lot of footage.
All right. But of course, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, do you have any updates? Because we've talked about it before on the show, on the 10-year DVD. I know you guys were planning a 10-year, and now, and of course, 2004. Like I feel like 2014 that'll be 15 years of Toledo Death Fest. That deserves almost its own DVD. But 10 years, the 10 years of Convalescence, or no, 10 years what is the 10 years
It
of?
would be the 10 years of the Convalescence.
Okay, like
That'd be like the first decade, yeah.
the first decade. Okay,
So like 2011 to 2021.
okay,
And really, we had big plans to get that done, and it was supposed to be done pretty much by the end of last year. However, with COVID and all that kind of stuff, it kind of set us back from working on it as much as we wanted to. And then we kind of put it on the back burner with the going down to record the new record and getting back out on the road. And then we had all the stuff with members having COVID, me having the kidney stones, and just everything being really crazy lately. But we built the whole timeline. We know what footage we're looking for and dates and everything for it. We've gone through a lot of the footage. As you can imagine, 10 years is a lot to even get together in one place.
yeah,
So you're like, oh, 2016, there's like 6 hard drives that are full. And I'm like, okay, so where's that?
yeah,
And that kind of stuff, because we're more organized now than we used to be. So like the older footage is very highly unorganized, labeled random weird stuff, and it's very difficult to
no, I totally understand
find
that.
all of that. Yeah. So it is in the works. We are still planning to do it. With the tour schedule coming up, we're going to kind of try to do that during the tour and in between the tour when we have time. Icer lives right down the street from me, so like I can go down there and we can sit there and just work on it.
Yeah.
But he has a work schedule, I have a work schedule, and trying to get time where everything works out for everybody is hit or miss. Sometimes I'll be over there a lot for a couple weeks, and then it's like a month that we don't hang out. So we're doing it as quickly as we can, but we're doing it ourselves. And then obviously with members being all over the place, you can only really get them to, hey, can you make this comment on camera? Hey, can we interview you about this section of whatever? It's not always possible to do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a lot of that stuff done while we're together on this tour. And stuff like that. And this big tour will give us the opportunity to talk to some people around the country that we've met over the years about some older stuff, because we'll be there. So
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
so we'll get to keep the quality throughout,
That's actually, brilliant. Work on it while you're, that's brilliant.
So at least we can get the interviews and the footage and stuff we need while we're out there.
Yeah.
But we underestimated the amount of crap this was going to be put together, I guess, to put it bluntly.
Fair enough.
But it is getting done. We are working
on it. Fair enough. All right. So it is coming. A 10 years of Convalescence show or movie is coming.
Release date question mark, because
TBA.
The album is kind of our first priority right now.
Of course.
And I know that since we went to Jason Sukoff, and we do have some monster guest vocalists on it, and we have some really sick artwork and everything, and we've been sitting on it. It's been done. I got the masters back on Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's been done. However, we want to make sure every track and the whole album get released properly. And
of course,
with doing it independently through Blood Blast, that means all of the advertising, all of the merch, all of the videos, all of the artwork is self-funded by us.
Yep.
So we want to give ourselves enough time to have the amount of money appropriate to really push these songs as they come out. So realistically right now, we're going to be releasing singles throughout the end of the year.
Okay.
And then the album will come out early next year.
Okay.
So I know that's a long time to wait, but again, we want to make sure that everything is perfect for this to come out.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I get that. And Yeah, I get that.
Because Monument of Misery, we felt like we set the bar pretty high for us. And even on the promotional end and the video end and all that kind of stuff with that record. And, you know, after it's been out for 2 years, you know, we're 750,000 streams just on that album on Spotify. We have just in the official videos from that album, I think over 1.3 million views. And, you know, it registered on Billboard. It was number 3 on iTunes, you know, so we have to beat that somehow. And we have a pretty good plan that we know what that's going to take. And we don't want to shortchange it by any means.
Excellent. Yeah. You got, okay. Yeah. That's, yeah, I get that completely. I get that. Like, I totally understand.
In a perfect world, I would love to say, yeah, we can just drop this album because it's done and it's awesome.
Right.
But like,
but I get
then to have it come out with as much as we have put into it and just kind of get whatever traction Facebook lets us at the moment,
which you already know isn't
right,
what it should be.
Right. Would be a waste.
Yeah.
So
I get it. I get it completely. Like I see a few things that you might be referring to, but yeah. Like, it's, yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I'm like, it sucks that you have to sit out because I know it hurts you.
Oh yeah. I have the album in my car. I listen to it every day.
So I know it hurts to not just unleash it. Like,
yeah.
But
until each song is out, we're not going to play that song live. And that way there's no weird cell phone, yeah, you know, whatever. So people don't get an idea of, oh, it sounds like this live, or, you know, whatever. Yeah. We want, this is what we recorded and this is how we meant it to be. This is the first thing you're going to hear of it. Yes. So that's where we're at with it. So we're being very secretive about the show or about the album, and we're releasing it as strategically as we possibly can.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm very excited. As a fan to experience the rollout. Like, I think it's going to be, so that makes me excited for the next year. Like, to be honest, like that, I'm like, oh, now I got to, like, yeah, that's excited.
Yeah. So there will be multiple songs released this year though.
Yes. Yeah. Hell yeah. Awesome. Oh, with all their own, like artwork and stuff. Yes. Like the,
yes. We have artwork done for several songs right now.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. And I'm sure some of them will include videos at some point.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. We have portions of videos shot.
Awesome.
We have some very awesome artists working on some very awesome things behind the scenes for us, both for the stage show and for some upcoming videos. So yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff coming, but everybody's got to kind of be patient with us, because like I said, we're doing this ourselves. We don't have the backing of any kind of label funding or anything like that.
You don't have the backing of anything. It's all you. Yeah. And that's huge. That's incredible. All right. Well, do you have a couple more minutes or should we? Yeah. You do? Okay. All right. I did, cause I definitely wanted to and I kind of combine this into two. Back in the weekend of March 18th, you were down in Monroe, Michigan at the Motor City Legacy Horror Convention with Nate Thompson, director of Cult Affairs, which is a film a horror film that the Convalescence is featured in. And so I wanted to ask you about that, and I wasn't sure.
I think you're in it too, aren't you?
I hope. You know, I was there for a filming. But I wasn't sure if they were connected in any way, shape, or form at all, But I definitely wanted to also ask about the fact that you recently had action figures made of yourself.
Yeah.
But in full stage gear. Very much more more character than we either of us are right now. So
Right, right.
I was very curious about how that came about and how that Motor City Legacy Horror Convention went. I'm not like this year was kind of the first year I was aware of it, so I don't know how
The
many
first
years
year
it's
they
been.
did it.
No way. Okay. All right.
Um,
All right.
but yeah, I mean, that was honestly, it was a really cool experience to come out and be part of that.
Were you in full corpse paint every? Because it was a full
Yeah.
weekend. You were there the full weekend, right?
I didn't go Sunday.
Okay, so Friday and
Nate did. Nate went Sunday.
was it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yes, I went Friday and Saturday.
And you were there in full corpse paint at the booth
All day. Yep.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, I saw that they had been posting that and that they were having all these guests and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is something like it's in Michigan. Like, you know, I got to somehow be a part of this. And I first hit them up to see if they needed any live bands to play.
Fair enough.
And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, well,
Get that.
You know, our music is, you know, largely about murdering people. And we're in this new movie, this horror movie that's, you know, from a director that lives in Monroe. So like, we're right down the road. Can we come down and put up a table and meet some people? And they're like, oh, you know, I don't know. And they weren't really like about it because they kind of had their panel. And I'm like, no, listen, we don't need to be on a panel. We don't need anything. We'll promote it ourselves. Just like, let us set up a table and be there and push our stuff. And they eventually agreed to let us be there after I annoyed them for a couple weeks. And yeah, I got up there and everybody was super nice. Got us checked in. We had our little booth and he had like Cult Affairs posters and he had like the cult leader like mask on the table on a little mannequin head and stuff. And he was wearing it for a while and walking around talking to people. And I had like barbecue sauce and hot sauce from the Convalescence. We had CDs. We had some of the like flat bill hats with the green logo on them. We had Monument of Misery shirts, One of the Dead shirts, you know, stuff like that. So, and I was, in full corpse paint the whole time I was there, you know, dripping blood all over the Sheridan Inn. And no, it was cool, man. I met people from Nightmare on Elm Street. I met a lot of the Texas Chainsaw people and Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Donnie Darko and Independence Day and Three from Hell and all that.
Wow.
People from all those movies. And it was a blast, dude. A lot of them were really cool. So yeah, it was an amazing experience, and I got to walk around, check out a lot of the vendors that just make horror stuff, and made a lot of cool contacts and a lot of people, a lot of friends that are now, you know, running horror like haunted houses and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was an absolute blast the whole time I was up there.
That's I'm really glad to hear that. I love, every convention, anything like that. I've been to a few horror conventions, but anything like that I've ever been to in Michigan, it's just like everything you love in one spot. Like it's everything. Like
it was awesome. So they had like all these vendors inside, and then like down a hallway into like the lobby and stuff. They had all the people from all the movies, and you could walk down the line and just meet everybody.
Oh, okay.
They were all signing autographs and taking pictures and stuff like that. And then like me and Nate were like technically in the lobby, but like when you got done with all the signings, you walked out right to our table.
Oh, okay.
So it was like we were like right there. We were like fake a part of it.
Right.
And like you know, we weren't allowed to be in like the cool kids hallway, but we were like
at the back of the bus.
yeah. But it was a blast, and we, you know, I was surprised there was some people that even showed up wearing like Convalescence shirts already that were there because we were there.
Oh, that's great.
So that was killer, and we met some people that are maybe now fans of our band that weren't before. So that's always a plus to do something like that. As far as the action figures,
Yeah,
go,
were they available by then, or was that after?
no, I got them the week after, actually.
Oh, damn it!
But I mean, it didn't matter. They sold out in less than 2.
Yeah, I didn't even act. I was like, it'll be there tomorrow. Wrong. Like,
Yeah. I knew they were gonna go quick.
They looked amazing. Who did them?
It's actually like a wrestler. Down south makes them that, Ron, our bass player, follows wrestling pretty hard.
Nice.
And he called me. He's, hey man, there's this guy, and he's making action figures for all these local wrestlers. And he is a wrestler. And he's like, so he's making all the, little wrestlers always had their own action figures. That was like,
of course. Yeah.
And so he was doing all those for all the local wrestlers. And he's like, so I don't know how much they're, whatever. And I hit him up and I was like, hey man, I know I'm not like a wrestler. I know that this is like more involved than what you normally have to get with the other ones or whatever, because there's so much different paint and detail and, with the dreads and all that kind of stuff like involved in making this. Like I anticipated it being a little tougher than what he had been doing. And he's like, oh yeah, we can do these. And it was a several month process.
Oh wow.
That he took. I sent him probably 20, 30 pictures of me from different angles, from playing on stage, all that stuff in the paint. And he would like make a 3D design and send it to me. And I'd be like, this is cool. This is wrong. We got to fix this, And we went back and forth for, like I said, like literally months.
Wow.
Getting these like the way they were, like the way they needed to be. And when he finally got that done, he like, printed them or molded them or whatever. I'm not really sure. But they came out and he was sending me pictures of them and they were all just like blanks, but it was me. It was just a blank figure.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hand painted all of them. So each one of them is like slightly different than the last one.
Oh, wow.
Because they're all like hand painted, each one.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
And then like Icer is a big fan of like action figures and comics, and he worked in a comic book store for a long time and whatever. So obviously I went to him to design the actual card, like the backing card of the action figures. So he was pretty stoked about that as well. And then I actually have one that's one of a kind from him. He was one of the test paint ones. He didn't like the paint on it, so he just painted the whole thing silver. And there's one that's packaged, but the whole figure is silver.
Oh wow!
So I didn't sell that one. I kept that one. But
hell yeah.
But yeah, I didn't do a shitload of them. I mean, we did a fair amount, but like I didn't.
Was it like more than 100? Was it like around 100 or?
Oh no! We did like 30 of them.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't like a ton because I really didn't know like, are people really going to want to buy an action figure of me? That's a weird thing to like gauge, Like,
oh yeah, it's a weird thing to have an idea. Like, of course, like as kids growing up, that's something we all dream of. But like,
that's why I did it. Like the opportunity presented itself. I talked to the artist, and he was like, "Yeah, that's going to be killer. Like, let's do this." And I was like, so I have a guy that's gonna make action figures of me for real.
Well,
and
there's this fucking, I don't know if it's all the same people or not, but and I doubt it is, but there's this one company that makes like all the Eddies that in the same style. Like
Reaction, and then there's also
Reaction, like, yes.
The pop figures have been coming out with the Maiden ones too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the reactions in that same style that you had with the card and everything.
Yeah.
And then there's this other thing. Fuck. Once I remember, Out of Stock Toys or something like that on Instagram. I'll send it to you. Yeah. But they do like literally like the day after the Oscars happened, they did like a Chris Rock slap fucking action
Oh my
figure.
God.
Like they're like that. Like they do
Yeah,
shit
they're
like
just really on it.
yeah, really on it. They seem like they do a lot of like really cool stuff.
Yeah, the action figures thing was something I had been looking into for the band for the
Oh,
past 2 or
really?
3 years.
Oh, really? Because I know you
And
have the trading cards too.
yeah, well, the trading cards were like another thing that we were like, oh, that would be cool. I've always wanted to have a trading card, you know.
Yeah.
So we did those, and they sold well, but like not as well as we wanted them to. Like we still
Yeah.
have some. And then the action figures, it was like, you know, going from trading cards to action figures, the price difference to make them is like
Huge.
huge. So I was like, man, you know, we're gonna have to charge, you know, like at least $20 a pop for these. And they're not like huge figures, you know what I mean? Like they're just small. But I was a little concerned because it was like, okay, we're gonna have to charge that for these with how much they cost us to make. And I'm walking around looking at the store, like I'm walking down the toy aisle at the store looking at other action figures, like how much are they selling this Superman for? You know, like, and it was always cheaper than $20. And I was like, man, we might lose on this one, is kind of what I was thinking. I was like, and plus, like, I don't know if people are gonna think it's weird, like, because a lot of our fans like know me. And is it weird to have an action figure of like somebody you know?
Nope.
Like, is that weird? And
That's
I didn't know if that was going to become a factor in people like buying it. But as soon as I posted them, everybody went nuts, and we sold like 3/4 of them in the first like hour.
Wow.
And I was just like,
Oh,
wow,
wow.
okay. And I'm packing up orders, and this box is just getting emptier and emptier. And yeah, there was a couple of people that were like, yeah, dude, I'm going to order one soon. And I'm messaging them like, yo, we got like 3.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
I was one of them. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, these are really
I
for
was
real.
like, fuck no.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and I shipped all those out. It was cool going to the post office with like, I had to make 2 trips because there were so many fucking boxes.
Oh, wow.
Because it was like all that stuff, and then people also ordered like a bunch of other stuff from the merch store when they bought the action figures.
So it
So,
was an
like,
upsell almost.
Yeah, I mean, like they weren't
Awesome.
packaged with anything or whatever, but like,
Right.
yeah, like people, oh, that shirt's cool too, you know, and they picked that up or whatever. So it wasn't like a bunch of like major orders or anything, but it was like a lot of merch, you know. So I was going into the post office and just like filling up their whole counter, like, yeah, just ship these.
That's man.
So
So
yes.
more are coming then?
I haven't decided.
Fair enough.
I'm on the fence about it. I would like to, but like I said, they're a little pricey to make. They take forever to like make. I mean, maybe since he has the mold now and everything, that'll be quicker, I'm sure. But right now, I haven't been focused on like restocking them necessarily. But yeah, I mean, they came out killer. Obviously, I'm stoked to have an action figure.
Yeah.
Just one of those bucket list things, same as the trading cards or like the hot sauce or the barbecue sauce or
Which are excellent.
all the other weird little things we do, the soap, stuff like that.
That
You
was
know,
good too.
I like to do that just because it's like, hey, I did that.
Yeah.
You know, and it just kind of adds to like the stuff for the band.
The legacy in blood.
I guess. Yeah. So I would like to get more, but I have not ordered any more to this point.
Fair enough.
Right now. So, but getting there for sure.
That would be, well, it would be awesome to get to be able to pick up a second run. I'm bummed I missed the first one.
Yeah,
but it would be cool.
If enough people message me and be like, I want one, like,
hell yeah,
I'll probably order more.
Fantastic.
And we were discussing doing more members, or do we do just more of me for right now and get more of those out there and then go to the next member kind of thing. We haven't really.
It's definitely what I was going to ask is, would you do more members? Yeah. And I think that
the original idea when we first started talking about it was we wanted to do all 6 members in like one box, like as a whole set.
Oh,
but then we were like, man, who's going to drop like $120 on this set of Convalescence action figures? Like somebody will, but are enough.
Right.
And you know, it was just by luck that we got a hold of this guy that was willing to do a smaller amount for us, because when we were talking to like some of the bigger companies, man, they were like, yeah, and each variation of paint or each different mold for each member, you got to order like 1,000 a piece.
Oh my God.
And it was just like,
Yeah.
dude, like, I know 1,000 people don't want an action figure of me. So it was just kind of well, that's gonna get expensive quickly.
Yeah.
You know? So it
Absolutely.
wasn't gonna happen. It was just kind of like one of those ideas that was kind of like penciled in, like if we ever get the opportunity, let's do it. But so far we haven't had it, and then it just kind of randomly presented itself because Ron was watching wrestling. So yeah, it was cool.
That's
I'm definitely
sick.
proud of that. We do have a lot of cool merch for the upcoming tour.
Yes.
And we restocked on a lot of stuff. We are going to sell out of CDs probably quickly on this tour, due to all the shipping and production delays for not only vinyls but also CDs. We had ordered CDs and they sent us our money back and said that there's no way they would have them done in time for the tour.
Okay.
So we have CDs, just not as many as we would like to have for a tour like this.
Fair enough.
So we chose to take that money they sent us back and put it into other merch and stuff like that. And that during this tour, we would reorder CDs so that we would have them before the August run.
Beautiful. All right.
Apologies to anyone watching the show that's coming out on this tour in the second half of the tour. But we ordered them and they sent us our money back and said we can't. So that's where we're at.
Anybody watching this, if you want them now, get them before the tour.
Yeah,
in the description
they're
below.
on the Big Cartel. Yeah.
They are on the Big Cartel, which is in the description below that link. Like you can go ahead and pick it up there. Yeah, man. God damn it. I can't wait to see you guys again. But the last question that I have, and we've literally hit, I think, everything. One more real quick. And we've talked about this enough before. You guys went as a band, you did a paranormal investigation at the Pennhurst Asylum for LTTV on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And any update on that? Because I feel like that happened quite a while ago now.
It did. It happened in August of last year. I do have updates for that.
Ooh.
We got the first edit back, which was going to come out in October.
Okay.
And I went back and was like, hey, I don't like the way this is edited. I don't think it does it justice. Let's re-edit it. And like we re-edited it, but we also added in like some interviews with the band members, and we added in like an interview with the host of the show and stuff like that. And then we got another edit sent to us, and it was just kind of, it seemed rushed. So I sent it back again. I said, hey, let's just take our time, screw setting a release date for the moment. Let's make this really do justice to what we did here. So they've been editing it and adding stuff to it and kind of making it into something way cooler for the past couple months. And I know they had some personal setbacks on some stuff, and I know the guy that's doing a lot of the editing is also in a touring band and has been on the road and stuff as well.
Okay.
So it's kind of slowed down the process at this point, but
That happens. Yeah.
we are expecting a final edit within the next couple of days.
Oh, awesome.
So the host just messaged me last week and said that any day now we would have a final edit, hopefully. And obviously that's pending her watching it and us watching it and everything. But, you know, that place was just so insane. Like, it was crazy. And like, I don't want to just throw something out and be like, here's this random footage for 10 minutes.
Right.
Like I want people to understand like where we were, that it was the middle of the night, that we were using the spirit box for things,
And you guys had real
know,
experiences that you
and we had some real
and you want to give it
stuff happen there.
and I imagine you want to give it context and
Yeah. And not only that, but like with the spirit box, on the footage, some of it's hard to understand.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. For
So
sure.
especially depending on what we were filming with at the moment, whether it been the GoPro or a phone or whatever. So we went through and made sure that, we put studio headphones on so we could really listen hard and pick up any noises that you wouldn't hear just, listening to it back real quick. And we found a ton of stuff that we didn't know even happened. And so we went through and added like subtitles to like all that kind of stuff. And like, we just wanted to give it context. We wanted to make sure that this includes a little bit of the history of Pennhurst Asylum.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And, we just wanted to tie all that together in that. So we've been picky about it. And like I said, there's been some setbacks with the editing process, as happens sometimes, but it will be coming out. It is very close to done.
I love that you're that picky about it. I love that you want it to be like a certain thing more than just like a quick 10 minutes. Like that's
yeah, because I mean we could have just sliced together all that footage and thrown it out on YouTube in October.
Sure.
But
you're making like it sounds like as a fan, a hardcore fan of this stuff, it sounds like you're trying to put together like an episode of one of those kind of shows that people would watch. But your shit, none of it was faked. All of it's real. Like this is the real deal. Like
we had very little equipment because with COVID, some of the people that were supposed to be there and fly in were not able to make it. Their flights were canceled and stuff like that. And like there was a lot of like setbacks even to going there, but you can't exactly like reschedule. You have to get permission and like all this stuff to go there. So it's not like you can just move the date and figure it out. And plus we had a tour schedule and a studio schedule like simultaneously trying to work out along with going to Pennhurst. So it was a lot to make it happen in the first place. So we couldn't cancel. So we ended up shorthanded as far as what we had planned to be. And like the whole thing is filmed on like our own cell phones, on GoPros, stuff like that. So it's like gritty, real, like this is literally us walking around in here, There's one like Ron had taken the GoPro and he went down into one of the tunnels and he's walking down the tunnel and you can hear like him breathing on the camera, obviously. But then you can also hear like what sounds like the beeping of like a hospital monitor. And it gets like louder as you go down the hallway, and then you hear like slamming around and like weird music, and like nothing down there even had electricity.
Oh, holy shit.
It was like, so we got like that, but it's literally like him walking down like a red hallway. And like you're just hearing all this stuff like faintly, and it's
oh my God.
I think at one point he even goes, "What the fuck was that?" And it's like you just hear like a door slam in the background, but there was no doors that were even ever open down there.
Oh my God.
And so it was cool. It was an insane experiment, experiment and experience.
Right.
But no, we had a blast doing that. It was definitely something I'm glad we did. But that place is fucked up. Bottom line, I mean, there is rarely a day that goes by, even now, that I don't think about that place.
Holy shit!
So
wow,
it's just
wow.
Yeah, I don't know, it was just such a weird thing.
It's definitely on my personal like bucket list of places to investigate. And I don't know. I don't know anyone as well as I know you that's ever actually been there. And so to hear your experience, and not only that, for the whole band to have been there, and I trust all you guys, like they
in full corpse paint doing a ghost.
yeah, that's even better.
Yeah.
It blows my mind, and you and I have talked about you going there for a while now, and I'm just so fucking excited to finally see you guys in there.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
we're dying to release the footage.
Yeah.
But same as the DVD, same as the album. I would rather wait a little bit longer than half-ass it.
Patience,
I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
So it really comes down to, we want to give our fans the absolute best. We want to put out the absolute best. And anything short of that's going to be a disappointment to us. So until we feel good about it, we feel like we're doing everything we can, then, I'd rather just not do it.
And as a gigantic, obviously as a gigantic Convalescence fan, I completely trust your instincts. And I feel like you guys have always done things in the best possible way, and I have no doubt that this all these tour dates, the DVD, the Penhurst thing, and of course the next album will come out in the absolute perfect way, and it's gonna make gigantic waves. And
we can only hope.
I'm very very excited for it. But that's all I got. So is there anything else that you wanted to mention here at the end?
No, it's good to be back here on Lost in the Dark. And looking forward to getting out there on the Legacy and Blood tour and seeing all of our friends all over the country again. It's been a minute.
Yes.
And looking forward to the soreness that comes with once the tour starts. It's 9 shows in a row till the first off day.
Oh my God.
So it's we get to go out there and kick our own asses for a little bit, because it's I feel like we've gotten a little bit soft, like sitting at home. If that makes sense.
Of course it does. Yeah.
Because we used to do tours like this all the time. Like, it was nothing. We would do 2 or 3 tours of this length like a year.
Yeah. You'd be out for over 300 days a year. Yeah.
Yeah, we would just never stop, and it was like just a grind all the time, but it wasn't a big deal to go play a show.
Right.
But now we sat all of 2020. We sat most of 2021. I think we only played like 30 shows or 36 shows in 2021.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like spread out, aside from the 2 weeks that we did with Phil.
Right. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of like there wasn't like a tour.
Yeah, it wasn't like a lot of continuous like grinding touring.
Right.
So really, since we went on the Monument of Misery release tour and did the whole US, we haven't been on a tour this long. So it's been 3 years since we've gone out like this.
Oh my God.
So it's gonna have to get back into that groove of doing that, I guess. And I'm thinking by the time we hit California, we'll start feeling like we're homeless and living the bus again, and that this is just what we do every day. But until then, I feel like everybody's just gonna be pissed and sore. But we're playing a lot of our, I guess, bigger songs on this run. And hopefully everybody enjoys it. It's a relatively heavy set overall. We're not playing a ton of the like singy songs. But we're pretty much going for mosh pits and blood on this one. So we'll see how everything works out. We have some surprises in the stage show for everyone. And hopefully we see everybody out there on the Legacy and Blood tour. And there's tickets for every single show available at tconband.com, which is on all of our social media.
and as well as ours, and links in the description below. And I, I can't tell you how excited I am to see you guys play again. I mean, and fortunate enough, feeling to see you on the first and the last shows of the tour. I think,
sure.
I will be at both.
And, Michigan's getting a treat on this one.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, we are, and it's rare. It's rare for us. So, we're very happy about that, and I can't wait to see you guys again. And I think it's gonna be a great one.
Oh yeah, man.
I really do. And as always, Keith, I can never ever thank you enough for being on the show. Man, every time we get to talk.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, you're always welcome here whenever you want. And whenever we get to talk, I'm always excited. Yeah, man, you're one of the best we've ever had. So thank you so much. And I will I'll see you out there on the road, I guess.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, man.
Yes,
take care of yourself.
All right, buddy, you too. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you? That was a fucking incredible conversation, and him and I probably stayed on for like another hour or so after I stopped recording. He gave me it's much like when me and Aaron sit down and we're gonna be like, all right, 1 hour, that's it. 3 hours later, 3 hours and a million drinks later, every single fucking time. But I love it. I love Keith so much. I love the Convalescence. Absolutely, hands down, without a doubt, one of my favorite bands to see live. One of my favorite bands going right now. Like, they are unfucking real. And based on what he just told us on the episode, their upcoming tour is going to be the most unreal yet. So they actually, the day I'm recording these intros and outros, just posted an image of their new stage set that he talked about on this episode. So be sure to check out all things Convalescence on social media, links in the description below. And they all mean the absolute world to me, every single one of them. All of them have just been nothing but the nicest people ever, every time I've met them. And they are just absolutely incredible. And I can never, ever, ever, ever thank Keith enough for not only his time, but sending so many we wouldn't even have half of the we wouldn't have almost any guests at all if it weren't for Keith. Like all the guests, 99.9% of the guests we have on this show are because he linked us together. So I mean, I can never fucking ever thank him enough for that. One day I will find a way. One day I'll find a way. But yeah, man, this guy means the world to me. I hope you all enjoyed this episode as much as we did making it. It was an absolute blast for us. And everyone, be sure to check out Convalescence on their tour, which technically sort of starts at Earth Day Birthday in Florida on the 23rd of April, and then kicks back up on the 29th, starting right here at Papa Pete's in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I will be in attendance. I hope Aaron will be in attendance. And then, of course, they come back on June 4th. Did I say June earlier? I meant April 29th. And then they come back on June 4th to end that run at the Diesel Concert Lounge in Detroit, Michigan, which also is brother Aaron Bogwraith's last show ever. So that is going to be prom night. That's going to be your wedding night. That's going to be fucking a madhouse. It's going to be absolutely insane. And I hope to see everyone that can be there that's seeing this right now. I really do. It's going, if you can make it, make it. Don't fucking miss it. Plane tickets are not that expensive. Well, maybe they are now. I used to say that, but maybe they are now. Maybe they've gone back up. but yeah, I hope to see as many people as possible there. I would love to see anyone watching this right now. And yeah, so be there. Convalescence, see them out on tour. More within next week or so. They're gonna be really hitting it. Fucking tons of days, tons of dates all over the fucking country. So be sure to check out all things Convalescence. Again, links in the description below. Without further ado, thank you all so much for watching this one, my friends. And thank you, Keith. You are from the bottom of my heart. You're the fucking man. Love you to death. And of course, we will be back again very, very soon with so much more. But until then, raise your fucking horns and bang your goddamn heads to some Convalescence. We love you all to death. Good night.
Lost in the dark.